Config helper is a dialog that is shown when creating a new site on the plugin. It is designed to greatly reduce the initial configuration time for a site. Let's start by adding a new site. The config helper contains a few steps. The first step is to enter the URL of a category page. So we need to enter the URL of a page that lists post URLs. Let's enter the URL of the best-selling WordPress themes page from ThemeForest. So our goal is to crawl themes from ThemeForest. Let's enter the URL and click the next button. In the second step, we need to find a CSS selector that finds the post URLs on the category page. Let's do that by using the Visual Inspector. We simply click one of the themes shown on the page and all the theme URLs are found. We can see the found URLs here. The URLs seem to be correct. If they were not, we could use the delete button shown in the row to delete them. Also, we could unselect the row to exclude the found URLs. There is no need to do any of these for this example. Each row corresponds to a configuration. For this example, each row specifies a CSS selector that will be assigned to the post URL selector setting. Since we are happy with the URLs, let's click the next button. In this step, we need to enter the URL of a post page. It is automatically filled. Let's see the next step. This step tries to find the lazily loaded images on the post pages. The config helper works with at most 3 post URLs when it tries to find CSS selectors, to make sure the found CSS selectors work for many posts and not unique for a single post page. Here, we can see that this step identified many lazily loaded images. Let's keep this row selected and go to the next step. In this step, there are many rows that are already selected. Again, each row corresponds to a configuration. These configurations are typically made for a site, so they are already selected. If you do not want them, you can simply unselect their rows. The descriptions of the configurations are self-explanatory. Let's not change anything in this step and let's see the next step. This step is used to find CSS selectors for the post title. The config helper tries to find CSS selectors automatically by analyzing the page's source. As you can see, it already found the title. If it was not able to find it, you could use the Visual Inspector button shown at the bottom of the dialog to select the title manually. The found titles seem to be correct, so we do not change anything in this step and click the next button. This step tries to find CSS selectors for the post content. As you can see, the source code of the post pages are analyzed and the contents are found. You can click the shown HTML code to preview it. Since the content is found correctly, let's go to the next step without changing anything here. This step tries to find CSS selectors for the featured image for each post. The featured images seem to be found correctly, so there is nothing to do in this step as well. Let's go to the next step. This is the last step of the config helper. It presents you with a few configurations, such as enabling the automatic crawling and saving all the images in the post content. I do not want to save the images in the post content, so let me unselect it. Also, I want to add the source link to the post content, so I select it. To complete the config helper, let's click the complete button. When we do that, the site will be published. The basic settings for the site are ready now. If you want, you can further customize the settings. Let's wait a few minutes for the site to be crawled and observe the crawled posts. Because I explained each step, it might have seemed to take a lot of time to create the basic settings via the config helper. In fact, it took about 30 seconds to create the basic settings, so the config helper greatly speeds up the initial configuration. Okay, let's see a few of the crawled posts now. Now, let me show you what the config helper did with the site settings. It configured the site URL and the active for scheduling settings. It defined a category URL to the category URL setting. It also configured the test category URL and the post URL selectors settings. It configured the test post URL, the post title selectors, and the post content selectors settings. It also configured the featured image section. To make the lazily loaded images not lazily loaded, it defined HTML manipulation options. It also enabled the Convert JSON to HTML automatically setting and defined many unnecessary element selectors. It defined 2 filters for unwrapping the form elements and no script elements. It configured the post content template to include the source link. It enabled the embed social media posts and other media, the remove empty HTML elements and comments, and remove scripts settings. Finally, it defined unnecessary element selectors for the template to remove the styles and style sheets. You can change these settings if you want. The config helper just provides you with an initial configuration. You are free to change the settings in any way you want.